Surendarji, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Good morning to all.
Where are you, Surendarji?
Uh, on the morning
You
walk.
are okay. And Nirdos, you are in Juhu Beach.
Yes, sir. Just I came back
Just
and
came from beach.
जी,
So yesterday, Prarthi sent on group today topic joint family versus like single family, na? Single family,
Yeah, nuclear family.
nuclear family. Can we start, Surendarji? Please
Yeah.
start, Surendarji.
Yes. Thank you. This topic is good for discussion because it is related to our social circumstances, social uh, nuclear family. Actually, government is promoting nuclear family. हम दो हमारे दो, like this type of slogan. It is where parents and their kids are living in a home that is called nuclear family, and where uh, person and his brother's family and person's family living in a home, and their parents also, that is joint family. Now we'll see what is problem in nuclear family and joint family. Actually, when all the persons are not earning person in joint family, then I think I see nearby or nearby situation. In joint family, some persons, if some persons are not earning money and they are staying home and doing nothing, then some problems in that house is going on. And if there is shortage also for fooding purpose and many other things that is uh, daily uses, then joint family have to manage how to live in the home. So there are many problems in joint family, but one thing is good in joint family. There are members, more members in joint family, so they can care each others more effectively. In joint family, if we have some problem, we care, other cares me, and a lot in social status. In joint family is good. You can see a joint family mainly living in village areas. You are not in cities areas. City areas only nuclear family is living. Actually, you all see that they send their parents also to old age house, old age home to live there. That is very uh, selfish thought. They should not send their parents if they are going to old age. So this type of happening thing is not good. They should care their parents at their home. They should not go send them in old age homes. I think Western culture is affecting our our culture. Indian culture is not a nuclear family. In Indian culture, there are lots of members living in one roof, under in one roof. So nuclear family is promoting by the government also. That is only uh, affected by the Western culture. So I think in the areas you can see only that joint family is living. You cannot see a lot of members are living one in one house in cities areas. So I think joint family is good, but all the members should have uh, should have earn and should have cooperate each other. There should not be any fighting about the matters. They should have uh, live effectively, affectionately. So then joint family is good. There is always I see many in many families there are fighting are going on each day. That type of family cannot grow, cannot develop. So they should live with, uh, lovingly. Yes, thank you.
Kushi, please say something regarding to the topic joint family versus nuclear family.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So today's topic is joint family and nuclear family. And joint family means in that family, father, mother, children, and also included grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunt, etc. But in a nuclear family, only parents, father, mother, and children. It is a short family. Nuclear means short. And in before time, all the family was joint. All preferred joint family, but all was lived very happily in the joint family, and all have a adjustment power. We say how to adjust with each other, how to cooperate with each other. Don't fight to each other. But at that time, firstly, I say at that time no one preferred joint family. Surendra sir says in villages area joint families are there, but in a but nowadays in the villages area joint families are not there. All are prefer a nuclear family. All are lived with a short family, and in that family parents and children was there. And nowadays no one have a adjustment power how to cooperate with each other or fight with each other uh, at any issue, at a small issue, and that was very wrong. And I also like joint family because it is very important. um, we also say it is very important for kids when we live with a joint family. Kids studied with each other and they are motivated to each other, and they also talk what is problem about related to study, and also play with each other. Don't go for play with another child when we are live in a joint family. But in a nuclear family, no one have for kids for the study and for the playing. So mm, I don't like nuclear family, and we also know when we are suffering any problems or any issues which are related to money, which are related to health, which are related to anything. At that time, joint families are very good uh, because in the joint family, more number of people are there. All are all are help uh, and support, and you face that problem. But in a nuclear family,
And support,
yes,
not
and
and support, and supported.
all are
What is
supported.
the sentence you're saying?
All are
Yes, all are
support.
supported. Uh,
All are supported.
yes, all, supported, past.
Okay. Okay.
So when you're saying कोई मदद, सबको मदद मिलती है, मतलब everyone is supported.
Everyone. Okay. Sir. All are supported, and you face that problem. But in a nuclear family, when we are suffer any problem, you don't have anyone to sup- support uh, to face our problem. And nuclear family is also good because in the nuclear family, we all are comfortable with each other because in that family, no more people are there, only our parents and children are there. So all are comfortable and say our thoughts with each other. But in the joint family, so many people are there, so all are not comfortable with each other. Uh, and no one comfortable with each other. But so many times, uh, we all are needed joint family. Uh, when we show when even in the family, husband and wife both have a work, both have a job, and at that time they go for the office, and children suffer lots of problems when they are sick or when they have another problem. At the time, parents find a need to take care of the child, but so many times maid does not take care properly uh, for child, and child suffer lots of problems. So I want more. Uh, I support for the joint family. And okay, sir.
Savita ma'am, please continue regarding to the topic.
So, good morning, all of you. So, as today's topic is nuclear family versus joint family. So, both families means nuclear family means now we know that it's a shorter family with less members, only parents and sometimes grandparents too. And in a joint family, we are having grandparents, also cousin, sibling, it's an aunt, uncle like that. So wherever, as per according to me, wherever we are living, where that matters, the family should be nuclear or joint. So families are family only, whether it may be nuclear or joint. Suppose we are living in village where living cost is very less. Okay, I'm talking about living cost. So that time joint families are okay. Means living cost is less. Not all members are earning. Only one or two members earning, but it is okay for their um, nurturing them and to means doing their expenditure about it. In villages always we found that why in villages joint families are there? Because the living cost is very less there. The means houses are big, means land over etc. We are having there, and so the big houses uh, should have more family members. Uh, so like that only big families we are having at the village, and as we are having the farming and all, for doing that farming we need more family members in our house, and likewise we are having also, and living costing is very less, so it is okay there. Means we are having means we can cope up with the situation, and the joint family even can play means a good role in there, and the advantages are also there. Obviously we are having so many members in family, so the children will not feel lonely, isolated, okay, because everyone is there. So means the children can have a habit of sharing, caring, and doing lot of works in house, so like that. And the exactly opposite situation is there in nuclear family. And nuclear family we will find mostly in urban areas, wherever living cost is more, as they have to pay the rent of the house even, and after that the everything is costly there. So the both couple have to earn, means mother and father both have to earn, and then nobody is there to take care of children, and means everything. Even we have seen in urban areas, even water also we have to purchase, uh, means that drinking water, even using water also we have to purchase there. uh, so for a single drop of water also we are paying. I mean, nothing is free here, and so that we need earning more and less members of family. It tends to means that urban lifestyle tends to shorter members should be there in family. So like that's why it has become shorter family and nuclear family and joint family. And joint families are there in village more, and sure nuclear families are there in urban areas. Why? Because the need of the day, we can say that. And both families are having their disadvantages and advantages also. As we are just if we are talking about the advantages of nuclear family, so we can take a personal care of every child, means uh, only one or two child we are having, and we can take care of them as per their higher, as per their education, in quality education we can say that nowadays, like in CBSE schools and all. So in English medium only, and the foundation courses, and if and that we can provide them education, extracurriculum activities like music and dance and painting and like that. So we can take care of a single child or couple of child like that. So we can provide a more attention towards them. But in joint family we couldn't, because the only one family member is there, and if that member is having means the vision of equality, somewhere I have seen that the who is the main member, he is usually used to do partiality, okay. uh, in brothers children with his children's, okay, like that. Partiality they suffer, and because of this partiality and this suffering, and there is one kind of discrimination, we can say that, in family members. And because of all these negative things, this means that family members, small family members like kids and all, they became tough. I have seen that they became tough because of this all these things. And in further life, if after growing, they can fight with the society, and that children have become tough, and they can handle any kind of situation. They will not lose their time means the what we called, they will never go in depression in any situation I have seen, if the child is belongs to from joint family, no. So that is also one kind of advantage. Means we can say that he, because he have faced so many negative things, and that's why he have become such kind of personality, so that he can handle any kind of situation. But the exactly opposite is there in nuclear family. The nuclear family children are getting everything easily, and no fighting is there, no struggle is there for getting the things. So now after growing, that children have become now very weak, weak in nature, weak in handling the struggle things, and whatever struggling things are there. So they have become weak, and they may go into depression timely. So that may be the difference with nuclear family and joint family. So both our families are good in at some extent with, where we are living. So as per both families are having importance. So thank you. That's it.
Nirdos, please say something.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. Good morning. And yeah, I was listening very carefully, and I learned some pros and cons. See, I born and brought up in joint family, and right now my family is also in village joint family. So I brought up that environment, and I learned a lot of things from my grandparents, from my father, and from my uncles. So I support fully in joint family because joint family taught you lots of things. Firstly, one of the best things
Teachers, joint family teaches you a lot of things.
yeah, teaches lots of things.
Yeah.
One of the first things, what things joint family teaches, uh, leadership quality. How can you manage your family? Doesn't matter how many how many members in your family. Doesn't matter. But joint family teaches caring and sharing nature. Compared to I right now I live in Mumbai, and here is we saw everywhere is nuclear family. But whenever I observe their lifestyle, they face lots of problems. Uh, if I talking about financially, health, financially, and other many problems. But if I talking about in joint family, that time if any problem face, at that time any problems come in family, every member are ready to fight with that family. I remember when I was child and my uncle was a doctor, but he minimum in a week he lived in our city from my house far away, 25 and 30 kilometers. And whenever he heard that my nephew is got fever, he doesn't care what time is that time, and came to came to me and uh, you know uh, take care to me. So that was things. Whenever I remember that time, I feel very emotional. But yeah, I fully support joint family, and I don't have good knowledge. I don't have lots of knowledge about nuclear family, but uh, I see in my neighbor and my village also lots of family who is joint family, and they are growing very fast. I can say also. Uh, right now in village area, people mentality are changed. They thought that if I live as a nuclear family, I live happy. But I saw many people who is try this type of things, but they fail because you know parental guide is one of the best guide. If you have parental guide, if you have parental, you know, uh, take care. That time you grow. I think it is my personal opinion. Uh, you didn't face lots of problems because you're in your behind. Lots of people are standing there and push you. You can do it. You can do it. So yeah, uh, I support joint family. Thank you so much, sir, for giving this beautiful topic. And as my observation, I gave you some knowledge about in this area. Over to Pankaj, sir.
Thank you, Nirdos, for providing us. And today topic is joint family versus nuclear family. All we know that our family divided in two parts. First is joint family, second is nuclear family. And we know that joint family is very ancient, continued from ancient time. Current, as per requirement, I think a lot of nuclear family, the percentage of family is increased, nuclear family day by day, and decrease joint family. Yes, I am also living in joint family in village, but in city, I like nuclear family. So both has advantage and disadvantage, I think, because the role of kids and senior citizen in joint family play vital role. In nuclear family, kids problem is all we face, because all we know that the first school of kids is our family. But I think the role of our as per current situation, I think nuclear family is okay. Yes, sir. Diganta sir, please say something regarding our today topic.
No, this is a very interesting topic. So, I won't be able to take a side because I've never stayed in a joint family. My life has always been spent in a nuclear family. I'm a single child, so I can only talk about the nature of my family. My parents have been in a joint family. So, my dad, all my uncles, aunts, they all have grown up in the same family. They have they've been brought up together, and they were 11 kids altogether, my dad and all his siblings. So at the time there was a lot of children in one family. So it's from my memories, what I have, some of the best memories I have as a kids are when I go to my like ancestral home, my parents ancestral home, and all of us cousins get together to play together for like a vacation, be it summer vacation, be it winter vacation. So those are some of the best memories I have, and I still remember them now. So I can only wonder what it will be like growing up like that each and every day of your life. But that being said, when you enjoy things like in not in a regular basis, things look really fun. But the same thing, when you start doing it each and every day, might not be fun. That is from my experience. So same with that, like those vacations, I enjoyed it because those were vacations. If I had been forced to live in a joint family where there are like 10, 12 kids, it might have been difficult. I'm just assuming it might have been fun. It might have been difficult because in a nuclear family, as a single child, I got all the attention. Um, my parents, they had invested all their energy in me, they had invested all their time in me. So it was fun for me. But then again, as I grew up, I realized that I don't like sharing things, because I never shared things with anyone. I was a single child. I was selfish. When I came out of my home, I started staying in hostels, and then I realized some of the nature that I had growing up as a single child, that you don't tend to share much. You think everything is yours, because throughout your life you have been given the first prominence. You are the most important person in this life. That's how it feels when you are like grown up as when you grow up as a single child. So for me, with my roommate, with everything, I had issues in the beginning. Not issues in the, not like uh, violent issues, but there are issues where I'd be like, I started realizing that, okay, this is something I need to change. This is not normal, because others who had siblings with them, who used to like grow up in a joint family, they were very adjusting to everything. I was not. So, if given an opportunity, I would want siblings. I would want to grow up with siblings. But that being said, just siblings, because from what I have seen with my wife, she is from a joint family. So she, if she is given a chance, she would not want to grow up in a joint family again. So everything has their own advantage and disadvantage from each other's perspectives. I, on a personal level, cannot talk about a joint family is good or bad. I can only talk about the advantage and disadvantage of a nuclear family. Same if you ask my wife, she can talk about the advantage and disadvantage of a joint family, and she cannot talk about a nuclear family because she has not lived in that. So I think the perception is always going to be there. Uh, the best thing is to find the right balance, is to figure out what works best in each of this situation. Things that are best in a joint family, if we can try to incorporate that in our life, and things that are good in a nuclear family, for like individuality, space. You have your own privacy, you are given more dedicated time, it gives you time to grow, it gives you time to learn, that you cannot expect in a joint family. But then someone said, like, because of that competition in a joint family, you tend to become more clever, you tend to develop some qualities like leadership qualities. But at the same time, there are children in the joint family who are very meek, who don't want to speak out. They grow up as introvert because they're overwhelmed by all their siblings. So these are two sides of the same coin. If there is good somewhere, there will be bad. No situation is perfect. So it's the final thought of the day would be to incorporate for each and every one of us. You might have friends who are in a joint family, but you are in a nuclear family, and vice versa. So talk to them, figure out what works for them, and when you start your family or when you grow up, try to introduce both good things and like from both the worlds, like to your children or to the future generation, whoever, like you are, if you're adopting kids, if you're like raising your own kids, anything. Just figure out, like, just don't teach them that this is good and this is bad. Let them learn themselves. You give them the guidance, you tell them like your experience, because when you push someone in a direction that you have learned, that child is never going to learn anything on its own. When they face adversity, when a child faces adversity, they fall down and they get up. That's when they learn themselves, and that lesson they will remember for their life. If you teach them that, okay, don't go there, it's bad, he won't go there, but it's not a lesson he's going to learn for his life. He might make the mistake when he grows up. So don't tell them anything that this is bad. Yeah, you can guide them, this might not work out for you, but let them experience it, let them make mistakes, let them grow up in a, if there is a joint family, let them grow up in a joint family, let them experience a nuclear family, and let everyone make their own decisions. So that's my idea. But yeah, everyone very well spoken, like I uh, and very well articulated. So I'd say keep it up. These topics are really interesting. Pankaj, thank you. And we can always keep discussing these topics.
Thank you, sir.
So
So, yes, sir.
going forward, do you want to do the book that I sent you, like those are very short stories. I want each and every one of you to narrate at least one story from that book. I sent you the link, right, Pankaj?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
If you could share your screen.
Mm, one minute, sir.
Yep.
Sir, which book Sudha Murthy is?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I didn't read exact that book, but last from 6 months, uh, I read Sudhaj Murthy lot of book. The book name is 3000 Stitches, and another book is because if you talking about in India, I like her. I like her writing skill because he's sharing
Yeah,
about
she's
her lifestyle, and I understand very clear. One of the author in India, I like her. I understand very clear. So I know little bit. I know little bit about her life, Sudhaj Murthy life, and because those books who I read, I improved a lot. That book helped me a lot of. Uh,
so
so
let's do that. I'll say I have shared the link in the group in the practice session group.
yes, sir. I
Let
also
me
booked. I booked that book on Amazon because I have only mobile, so I cannot read in mobile. That's why the
Oh,
reason.
okay. So if you click on that link, where does it take you?
Yeah, yeah, I booked after 2 3 days later. Book is arrived.
No, 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 no. The link I send you, there is a PDF format. Like if you click on it, it will open there itself.
Okay,
So
one.
let me do one thing. Let me see if I can share mine, or like on the link that I shared in a practice session. Just click on that link. It should take you to the PDF version of the book.
Is it
Yes.
okay, sir?
Yep.
How I taught my pen.
Yeah. Keep scrolling up, and then like whoever wants to start with the like how I taught my grandmother to read is the first story, and there are other stories as well. Yeah. Keep going up. I might have to zoom in a bit. Yeah. This is the first one. Go to the beginning of this page. Yes. Yes. Okay. So who would like to start this?
So it's me, Khushi.
Okay. Okay, Khushi. Start.
Yeah. I was brought up in a village. Those days there was no television, music system, or VCD at home. Our only luxury was books. I was fortunate to have grandparents. My grandfather was a retired school teacher and an avid reader. He knew a vast number of Sanskrit texts by heart, and every night under the dark sky with the twinkling star, he would tell me many stories. These were stories from the history of India, the epics, and whatever interesting thing.
Khushi, you're breathing.
He had read that day in papers and what are you
Eh,
saying, sir?
no, sorry, you broke up for a second. Uh, Continue from he had read that day.
He knew a vast number of Sanskrit texts by heart, and every night under the dark sky with the twinkling star, he would tell me many stories. There were stories from the history of India, the epics, and whatever interesting things he had read that the day in the papers and magazines. These tales taught me the most lesson in life. The Katha Sarit Sagar, the ocean of stories, Arabian Nights, Panchtantra, story of
Arabian Nights. Arabian
Arabian
Nights.
Nights, Arabian Nights, Panchtantra, story of Ayu Shop, Birbal and Tenali Ram were told me to during those beautiful nights. The, the years rolled by and so much changed in India. Now families are nuclear and children rarely get to leave their grandparents. The arrival of TVs and dramatization of our ancient epics. So scroll the
Everyone
page.
knows the meaning of dramatization, right?
Yeah, I think some dramas are like
मतलब,
yes, sir.
yeah, like presented in the form of media for people to
Yes,
watch. Like, yeah.
yes. On the
And
Saraswati Puja and 15 August, we also do. Children,
ye-
students are also do dramas.
exactly. Similar to that. And there was another word, avid. Everyone know the meaning of avid? Avid reader.
Yes, avid reader means बहुत अच्छे वक्ता कह सकते हैं.
Ha. Yep, you can say that. Enthusiastic reader. Yep.
Yeah. The arrival of TVs and dramatization of our ancient epics brought this story closer to us and helped us know them, but it has also removed the power of imagination. Storytelling is not easy. It requires the proper modulation of voice in order to create an atmosphere of horror, surprise, humor, or peace. During those storytelling nights, I have traveled with my grandfather to the Battle of Haldi Ghati in Rajasthan and cried for a dead horse, Chetan. I enjoyed the victory of Shivaji sitting next to his grandmother, Jijabai. I have been thrilled listening to description of the battles of Raja Ranjit Singh and moved to tears with the story of his large heartedness. Sir, what is the meaning of thrilled?
Which one?
Thrilled,
Sorry. Thrilled.
yes, sir.
Thrilled is excited.
Oh,
कुछ सुन के, like if you're like listening to something, you are thrilled by it, मतलब in a good way, मतलब.
एंड थ्रिल
okay.
का मतलब सर डिफरेंस भी होता है ना, जैसे बोलते हैं थ्रिलर मूवी, जैसे थ्रिलर मूवी
हाँ
तो
हाँ.
उसका
Anything
मतलब
that
घटना
gets
होता है ना
your
कोई।
घटना नहीं, anything that gets your मतलब थ्रिल, मतलब जैसे एड्रेनलिन का मतलब समझ में आता है? एड्रेनलिन
नो
मतलब
सर।
एड्रेनल इज ए हार्मोन, ठीक है, इंसानों के बॉडी में पैदा होता है. इट्स ए
ओके।
इट्स ए वेरी, जब तुम्हारा सपोज एक्सीडेंट होता है, कभी लाइक नहीं हुआ तो पता नहीं चलेगा, पर जब भी कोई थ्रेटनिंग सिचुएशन आती है सामने से, तुम्हारे रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं. तो उस
राइट।
टाइम पे एकदम पता नहीं चलता क्या हो रहा है, लाइक यू गेट एकदम बॉडी
क्या
में
हो रहा है?
सेंसेशन पैदा होती है, दैट्स योर हार्मोन एक्टिंग, दैट्स. और उससे इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं दिस पर्सन गॉट ए एड्रेनलिन रश, मतलब उसको हार्मोन का पूरा रश हुआ, एकदम अचानक से पूरा हार्मोन बॉडी में प्रोड्यूस हुआ, एंड फॉर व्हिच ही इज गेटिंग मतलब रोंगटे खड़ा होना, गूज़बम्स आना. तो
गूज
उस
बम
टाइम पे
आया।
तुम्हारा ब्रेन, हाँ, ब्रेन पूरा एक्टिवेट हो जाता है, बिकॉज you are in a situation where your body perceives कि मतलब कुछ घटना होने वाला है. तो that's getting a thrill out of anything, मतलब तुम्हें एक थ्रिल मिल रहा है कोई चीज करके. तुम कहीं पहाड़ों से बंजी जंपिंग लगा रहे हो, लोग कूदते हैं ना पाँव में रस्सी बांध के, सो यू आर गेटिंग ए थ्रिल आउट ऑफ दैट. तुम्हें एक एड्रेनलिन रश मिल रहा है. सो दैट्स थ्रिल. थ्रिलर मूवी में भी वही, मतलब नेक्स्ट क्या होगा पता नहीं तुम्हें, लाइक इट कैन बी एनीथिंग,
राइट।
कुछ भी निकल सकता है, सो यू आर गेटिंग ए थ्रिल आउट ऑफ इट.
ओके, अंडरस्टूड।
कंटिन्यू खुशी.
I I cried when the first word of independence. Uh, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, yeah, you're audible.
I cried when the first word of independence, which the British called mutiny, was lost. While listening to my grandfather, in my mind, I became an Arab and changed my dress to walk the street of Baghdad and inspect the thieves with the Wazir-e-Alam. I have laughed and learned valuable lesson about knowledge and wit from the story of Ayushop, Tenali Ram and Birbal. In this collection, I have tried to recreate some stories from my experience, all of which have taught me something in the course of my work for the Infosys Foundation and as a teacher. I meet many people, young and old, each of whom has enriched in my life in some way. I have always wanted to tell this story to next generation. I hope you will like and enjoy reading them. Sir, scroll the page. I was I want to thank Sudeshna, Shom Ghosh and Penguin India. Had she not
Off Penguin.
insisted of Penguin India, had she not insist, insisted, the story would have remained in my mind forever.
ठीक है. So next would be the story. So Khushi, like you got the paragraph, right? You got the gist of the paragraph, right? जो भी मतलब तुमने पढ़ा.
Yes, sir. And in this paragraph, I like most that thing in which writer says, uh, compare in about the before times and this time. In before times, children go to our grandparents and listen some stories. But nowadays, arrival of TVs means uh, all have a TVs or a mobile phone, so no one are interested to go to our grandparents and not interested to listen a story. But writer says they also listen a story from our grandparents under the sky, and they also go to that place where there are so many battles in that field, and they also listen the story about the Tenali Ram and the Birbal. And in that story, in that paragraph, I like most thing. I like that thing. Writer says, uh, writer says that children lost our imagination power,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she says right because uh, when we have not mobile phones or a TV, uh, then all our go to our grandparents and ask some questions and find the answer of that question from our mind and from some books. But at that time, all have internet or something where they got answers. So I think that's reason because writer says children are losses our imagination power, and I think I got right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No wonder television is called a stupid box. Everyone knows that, right? It is known as a stupid box
And
television
one thing
because.
that writer also says at that time only luxury are books means at that time no one no other things have to uh, interested or I would know luxury means कुछ और नहीं था हमारे पास कि उसमें हम जाके कुछ और काम कर सके। बस
Luxury is comfort.
बस बुक्स ही
So
थे।
हाँ, exactly. No other luxuries. मतलब कुछ भी बोल सकते हो. Like even gold is considered a luxury for some. Like having a swimming pool is a luxury.
Yeah.
For some it can be something else. So luxury is a, you can define luxury for yourself. Usually the word came from something very like exotic, like gold वगैरह diamonds वगैरह, ये सब luxury माना जाता था. But अभी कैसा हुआ है, the perception has changed. For someone who is very poor, for him having like paneer in a meal can be a luxury in one meal. नहीं तो हमेशा like having dal rice is his normal like day to day thing. One day he is having paneer. Paneer is his luxury. For someone having chicken or fish, that can be a luxury क्योंकि कभी मिलता नहीं है. But for someone who is very rich, for him having a plane might be luxury. Everything else can be normal for him. So it's a contextual, like it depends on the context. मतलब कैसे use कर रहे हैं लोग.
So, Savita
So
ma'am,
did you hear
can
the
you
operator
reading?
saying?
Hello, Savita ma'am,
Yes, sir. You're calling me?
can you read it this paragraph?
This the story, the first story.
Uh, yes. So I have to start from where?
The scroll down,
Yes, yes,
Pankaj.
ma'am. Those days, the transport system. Yes, this is a second.
Okay. Okay. Uh,
Something was cut, sir. Yeah.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
Savita.
yeah, yeah. When was
This is
when I was a girl of about 12. Yep, yep. Starting
Yeah,
from here.
from
yes,
there.
our-
Yeah,
When I
when
was
I
a
was a
kid.
girl.
okay.
1 minute, ma'am.
Huh.
One second. Yes,
Yeah,
please
okay.
continue, ma'am.
Those days, the transport system was not very good, so we used to get the morning paper.
Uh,
That is no only in afternoon. Yes,
नहीं कहाँ से start? Wait, Khushi.
those days.
When I was a girl of about 12, start from there. That was the, or am I saying it wrong? Which part are you saying?
How, how when I was, sir, just the
Yes,
second line.
yes,
Those days.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. When I was a girl of about 12, I used to stay in a village in North Karnataka with my grandparents. Those days, the transport system was not very good, so we used to get the morning paper only in the afternoon. The weekly magazine used to come one day late. All of us would wait eagerly for the bus, which used to come with the papers, weekly magazines, and the post. At that time, Triveni was a very popular writer in the Kannada language. She was wonderful writer. Her style was easy to read and very convincing. Her stories usually dealt with complex psychological problems in the lives of ordinary people and were always very interesting. Unfortunately for Kannada literature, she died very young. Even now, after 40 years, people continue to appreciate her novels. One of her novels, called Kashi Yatra, was appearing as a serial in Kannada weekly Karmavir then. It is the story of an old lady and her ardent desire to go to Kashi or Varanasi. So, sir, what is ardent here? Means
Which
it
word?
fulfilled.
Which sentence again? Sorry, I missed it.
Sir,
Third paragraph.
third paragraph, second line. Uh,
Most Hindus
Old
believe that
lady
going to
and
the
her ardent desire to go to Kashi or Varanasi.
this old lady also believed in and struggled to describe. Third paragraph, you said.
Hmm.
Uh, what's the oh ARD? The word
ARDENT, ardent.
ARDENT.
Hmm.
Ardent would be like कैसे समझाऊं like हिंदी में
Unfulfilled or fulfilled? Unfulfilled or fulfilled? I mean, I'm confused.
नहीं ardent desire मतलब इंग्लिश में have you heard the word passion?
Yes, yes.
हाँ तो
Passionate.
passionate
Huh.
desire. हाँ
Okay.
passionate desire मतलब बहुत जाने का मन कर रहा है.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. And most Hindus believes that going to Kashi and worshipping Lord Vishnu.
Most Hindus believe, you said believes, right?
Uh-huh. Most
Believe. When you use,
believes. Yes, sir. I said wrong here.
yeah.
Uh,
Yep, yep. So
most
when
Hindus.
you remember that when you use plural, after that when you follow it with a verb, don't use s with the verb. Most Hindus believe. नहीं तो
Believe.
if you say he believes, if he is a pronoun and then like he believes, he or she believes. But when it's a plural form, like
Sir.
people believe, not believes.
Yes, sir. So believe that going to Kashi and worshipping Lord Vishveshwara is the ultimate punya. This old lady also believed in this, and her struggle to go there was described in that novel. In the story, there was. So, Pankaj sir, please scroll it. So, ऊपर चला गया. Little bit downward. हाँ, okay. Uh, in this story, there was also a young orphan girl who falls in love, but there was no money for the wedding. In the end, the old lady gives away all her savings without going to Kashi. She says the happiness of this orphan girl is more important than worshipping Lord Vishwakarma at Kashi. My grandmother, Kristaka, never went to school so she could not read. Every Wednesday, the magazine would come and I would read the next episode of this story to her. During that time, she would forget all her work and listen with the greatest concentration. Later, she could repeat the entire
Later,
text
later.
later. Okay.
Yep.
Later, she could repeat the entire text by heart. My grandmother too never went to Kashi and she identified herself with the novel's protagonist.
Protagonist.
Protagonist. So,
Say protagonist.
protagonist.
But
Protagonist. Okay.
protagonist is like the hero of the book, the
Yeah.
main character. Yep.
And hero or means heroine also, na sir?
Yeah, hero, heroine, matlab both.
Okay.
Any it
Both.
can be any gender. Yep.
Yeah.
Whoever is the main character. Yep.
Yeah. And so, more than anybody else, she was the one most interested in knowing what happened next story and used to insist that I read the serial out to her. After hearing what happened next in Kashi Yatra, she would join her friends at the temple courtyard where we children would also gather to play hide and seek. She would discuss the latest episode with her friends. At that time, I never understood why there was so much of debate about the story. Once I went for a wedding with my cousins to the neighboring village. In those days, a wedding was a great event. We children enjoyed ourselves thoroughly. We would eat and play endlessly.
So
Uh,
read till the end of this page, and then the next person will read. Like,
okay, okay, sir.
yep,
So endlessly. After that, savoring. Am I right, sir?
yeah,
Pronunciation.
yeah, 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 yep.
Savoring the freedom because all the elders were busy. I
You
went
know
for a
the meaning
couple
of
of
say. You know the meaning of savoring.
uh, uh yes, no, sir.
Savoring is enjoying.
Okay, enjoying the freedom. Okay,
Enjoying them. You can use the word enjoying also, or you can use savoring also. Savoring is more like a formal word that is used. Like if you're in a meeting, or if you're in an interview, or if you're having a discussion, it would do well if you use this word instead of enjoying.
okay. Thank you, sir. I went for a couple of days but ended up staying there for a week. When I came back to my village, I saw my grandmother in tears. I was surprised, for I had never seen her cry even in the most difficult situations. What had happened? I was worried. Awa, is everything all right? Are you okay? I
Okay, let's
used to
stop there.
go.
And
Okay.
yep, and nicely read, like the way you were listening to the looking at the question marks and full stop and like expressing it. That's a good way to read stories when you read stories, because you're also questioning what had happened, and I was worried. So you're expressing emotion. That's a very nice way to read. So yep. Who would like to go next?
Thank you, sir.
Nirdos.
Can I? Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Scroll up,
Nidos.
sir. Okay, sir. I used to call her Ava, which means mother in the Kannada spoken in North Karnataka. She nodded but did not reply. I did not understand and forgot about it. In the night, after dinner, we were sleeping in the terrace, open terrace of
Terrace.
the house.
Ha.
Yes, terrace. I know terrace. It was a summer night and there was a full moon. Ava came and sat next to me. Her atta-
Affe-
affection,
aff- affectionate.
her affectionate hands touched me forehead. I realized she would to speak. I asked her, "What is the matter?" When I was young girl, I lost my mother. There was nobody to look after or guide me. My father was a busy man and got married again. In those days, people never considered education essen- essential for girls. So I never
Yes,
went to a
that's nice.
school. I got married very young and had children. I became very busy. Later, I had grandchildren and always felt so much happiness in cooking and feeding all of you. At time, I used to regret not going to a school, so I made sure that my children and grandchildren studied well. Oh, I could not understand why my 62 years old grandmother was telling me, 12 years old, the story of her life in the middle of the night. But I knew I loved her immensely, and there had to be some reason why she was talking to me. I looked at her face. It was unhappy and her eyes were filling with tears. She was a good looking lady who was usually always smiling. Even today, I cannot forget to worry. Sir, can you scroll up? Okay. Scroll down, sir. Scroll down.
Yeah,
Can
scroll down.
one line?
Bus one
Yeah,
line.
okay. One line. Yes. The worried expression on her face. I leaned forward and held her hand. Ava, don't cry. What is the matter? Can I help you in a way? Yes,
In any
I need
way.
your
In any
help.
way.
Yeah, can I help you in any way? Yes, I need your help. You know, when you were away, uh, Karmavira. Karmavira came as usual. I opened the magazine. I saw the picture that accompanies the story of Kashi Yatra, and I could not understand anything that was written. Many times I rubbed my hands over and face with wishing they
Wishing, wishing,
wishing they
wishing,
wishing
wishing.
wishing they wishing okay
Yep.
wishing the
उसका
could understand.
उसका मतलब पता है उसका?
हाँ मतलब मीन्स वो उस पेज पे अपना हैंड को रब करते हुए विश करती थी कि मैं वन डे मतलब ऐसा कुछ उनका थॉट था.
हाँ, विशिंग मतलब कुछ हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं उसे?
विशिंग
अ,
सर मांगना हम बोल सकते हैं कोई चीज का विश
हाँ,
रखता है ना
हाँ,
मन
यू
में
कैन
कि
से
मुझे ये
मांगना.
चीज चाहिए.
हाँ,
या,
यप, यप.
प्रार्थना.
या, प्रार्थना.
यू कैन से प्रार्थना. हाँ, विश करना is हाँ.
या, विश. Wishing they could understand what was written, but I knew it was not possible. If only I was educated enough, I waited.
Educated enough.
I educated enough. I waited
नहीं, educated
early.
enough में line खत्म. If only I was educated enough. मतलब she was saying कि अगर काश मैं इतनी पढ़ी लिखी होती, तो if only I was
Right.
educated enough, full stop, and then start the new line.
Yeah. I waited early for you to
Eagerly.
start eagerly. I waited eagerly for you to turn. I felt you would come early and read for me. I even thought of going to the village and asking you to read for me. I could
To
have
read,
asked
read, read,
read.
read.
Yeah, yeah.
So
To read
read or
for me.
read, दोनों इस वर्ड का ना past, present और past perfect. Read,
Yes, sir.
read होता है. तो spelling same होगा. Read spelling read ही होता है past में, और past perfect भी read ही होगा. The only thing
Yes,
is, like when you use it in a sentence, you have to figure out, is it being used in the past? If it's used in the past, then you pronounce it as read. But if it's in the present, or if you're explaining a present situation, I wish you would have read it for me. अगर ऐसे बोलते हैं, I wish, अगर काश तुम मेरे लिए पढ़ती, तो पास का बता रही है. I wish you would have read it for me.
yes, sir.
And
वुड
normally
लगा
अगर
तो उसके
present
बाद
हो रहा है,
भी प्रेजेंट ही लगता है.
नहीं, तब read होगा. Would is like you
Yes,
would come and read for me. So वो future हो गया, मतलब तुम आओगी और मेरे लिए पढ़ोगी. So if it's difficult to like, because this is not a mother tongue, right? So for me, my mother tongue is Assamese. So मैं जब बोलता हूँ कुछ, I'm used to thinking it in Assamese. तो धीरे धीरे, like after like so many years of speaking English, I can think in English now before speaking. For you guys, I think for everyone here, Hindi is their mother tongue, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, it's okay. Think in Hindi and like वो समझो and then like use the word accordingly.
Yes, sir. I felt you would come early and read for me. I never enough. I never thought of going to the village and asking you to read for me. I could have asked somebody in the village, but I was too embarrassed to do so. I felt so very dependent and helpless. We are we are well off, but what use in what use is money when I cannot be independent? I did not know what to answer, Ava. I did not know uh, what to answer. Ava continued. I have decided I want to learn the Karnataka alphabets for two word onwards. I will work very hard. I will keep Saraswati Puja day during Dasara as the deadline. Deadline.
Deadline, deadline.
Deadline. Yes, sorry, deadline. That
वो मीनिंग
day,
पता है ना?
deadlines. Yes, sir. जब कोई विश करता है ना कि मुझे इतने दिन के तक मुझे करना है वो काम, तो वो डेडलाइन हो जाता
हाँ, हाँ, it's a like fixed time limit कि इस time
है। हाँ,
तक ही
फिक्स
करना
टाइम
है. हाँ,
करना है। That day, I should be able to read a novel on my own. I want to be dependent. I saw the
independent.
de- yeah. I
Indep
want to be independent. ओके, मतलब इसका आभा ने जो दिया था उसको मैगजीन, वो कर्नाटका में था। वो भी पढ़ नहीं पा रही थी, तो उसने एक अपना डेडलाइन बनाई कि मैं दशहरा तक मैं सीख लेता हूँ कर्नाटका
हाँ,
भाषा, एंड देन
खुद
मैं
से ही
पढ़ के
बनाई.
आभा को सुनाऊंगा।
हाँ, so
ओके।
she is like पैसों का शी इज लाइक मेरे पास मुझे लगा था मेरे पास पैसा है लेकिन पैसों का क्या करूँ इफ आई कैन नॉट बी इंडिपेंडेंट अगर मुझे हर किसी और पे डिपेंडेंट ही रहना है तो पैसों का क्या करूँ सो शी सेड कि दशहरा सरस्वती पूजा ऑन ड्यूरिंग डेडलाइन जब तक वो खुद से पढ़ लेगी
पढ़ ले, राइट। आई सॉ द डिटर्मिनेशन on her face. Yet I laughed at her. Ava, at this age of 62, you want to learn alphabets? All your hair are grey. Your hands are wrinkled. You
रिंकल
were as wrinkled.
रिंकल
You
मीन्स
were
झूरिया
Julia, yes sir. You were aspectless as you
स्पेक्टिकल्स
were
स्पेक्टिकल्स
spectacles. स्पेक्टिकल्स मतलब वो चश्मा पहनती है।
हाँ, तो जो
हम्म,
वर्ड्स अभी लाइक तुम्हें प्रोनाउंस करने में डिफिकल्ट होती है लाइक इफ यू हैव ए वर्जन ऑफ दिस पीडीएफ मार्क करके रखो सो इन फ्री टाइम जस्ट लाइक रिपीट इट अगेन
ओके सर। यू वर spectacles and you were
स्पेक्टिकल्स
you were spectacles
इट्स ओके
and
हाँ आराम से इट्स ओके
you were spectacles and you work so much in the kitchen. Uh, child child childishly
चाइल्डिशली
childishly I childishly I made fun of the old lady, but she just smiled. For a good cause of you are determined, you can overcome any obstacle. I will work harder than anybody, but I will do it. For learning, there is no age bar. That the next day onwards, I started my tuition. Ava was a wonderful student. The amount of hard work did not, she did was amazing. She would read, repeat, write, and recite. I was her only teacher, and she was my first student. Little did I know then that one day I would become a teacher in computer science and teach hundreds of students. Oh my god. The Dasahara festival came as usual. Uh, Certainly, I bought Kashi Yatra, which had been published as a novel by that time. My grandmother called me to the puja place and made me sit down on a stool. She gave me a gift of uh, prop material. Then she did something usual. She went.
Unusual,
She went.
unusual.
Yeah. Then she did something unusual. She went down and touched me feet. Oh my God. I was surprised and taken back. Uh, el-
Aback.
Elders aback.
Take,
I was
taken aback. Yeah.
surprised and taken aback. Elders never touch the feet of youngest,
Youngsters.
youngsters. We have always touched the feet of God, elders and teachers. We consider that as a mark of repeat. It is a
Respect.
great. We consider that as a mark of respect. It is great. Her Abha was, I
Uh,
think, she was very, great. I think my opinion when I read this uh, paragraph, she is very
yes.
curious about to learn
Curious
and
to
she
learn, and you can call it. She is very humble. So
humble. Yeah,
humble. Yeah. If you know the word humble, का मतलब पता है ना?
yeah. Humble means ऐसे बोल सकते हैं बहुत down to earth.
Yes, very down to earth. For someone to go and touch their, uh, मतलब to their grandchild's feet, कि इसने मुझे पढ़ाया, so I consider her as a teacher,
Yeah,
and I'm touching her feet as a. You have to be very humble, and any form of learning in life, be it English, be it anything, you have to be humble. Like
yeah.
ego, pride के
When
साथ,
I
you cannot
sir,
learn
I
anything.
under yeah I understand very clear. When I was reading that time, एक सीन होता है ना मेरे माइंड में बैकग्राउंड में चल रहा था एकदम
हाँ.
कि कैसे इस तरह से
So
स्टोरी मतलब
this is the
बहुत
whole
अच्छा लगा.
thing. The author फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ में ऑथर वही बोलता है कि स्टोरी टेलिंग में यू स्टार्ट इमेजिनिंग. जब कोई स्टोरी
Yeah,
पढ़ता है ना, तुम अपने दुनिया में चले जाते हो. टीवी में वो नहीं होता है. टीवी में जो दिखा रहा है, तुम्हारे मन में अलग इमेज नहीं आता है. जो दिख रहे हो वही है, मतलब.
जी.
ठीक है. सो इस यहाँ तक, लाइक, ये तो बहुत लंबा चलेगा. नहीं तो लेट्स
हम्म.
पास इट ऑन टू समवन एल्स, लाइक फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट पेज.
ओके सर.
तो तुमने कहाँ तक पढ़ा है अभी?
Sir, mark of respect.
मार्क ऑफ
We
रेस्पेक्ट
consider that.
ना. We consider it. Okay, so who is going to read next? Is
Sir,
anyone left?
actually time is very high, sir. It is
ठीक
7:25.
है. Yeah. Yep.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so we can stop here. Just mark this paragraph wherever as a mark of respect, and we'll start it from here next time.
Yes, sir. Ninth page completed. We will
Yep.
start from there. Please, sir.
Okay, cool. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for giving this
Thank you,
great
sir.
book, sir. This is good. I think I read many books to Sudhamurti, but this is, I think, very good.
Yeah, Sunamurti
Good.
is a very nice writer.
And
So
and this story is mainly for children, written in the first.
yes, yep. It's a. I think it's in CBSE class 9 curriculum. Also, this book is there. So for the CBSE course, so yeah, it can be a good learning, and it's simple English, so it will help us like increase our fluency in English, understanding pronunciation. So the goal is to, by the end of this book, we should be better, in a better position than what we are right now. So that's my goal. Let's see, like we'll take it slow. There is no time limit to ending this book, but whenever we end it, let's, like, you judge yourself. I'm not going to judge you. Each of you, like, see how much you have improved in pronunciation and in like vocab, and you, if your speed in reading has increased, if your recitation has increased, anything works. So just be your own judge and let's discuss on that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Have a nice day, everyone. Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, sir.